First impressions are something, but they are not everything. Let me explain. Yo, what's good, family? It's your boy MJ here at MJ the Greatest on all platforms. Back with this week's episode. Huge shout out to y'all for the love, the comments, the likes, the subscribing, everything y'all do to show love. Thank y'all so much. Let's just get right into it, man. So the topic of this week's episode, this really kind of connects to so many different things. I was just thinking one day, like, damn, you know, people always use that saying like, oh man, first impression is everything. And for like a long time, I bought into that. I used to think that was like real, but the more I've kind of like gone through life, the more I realized that that saying is like cap. It's not real, right? Because it's not real because people sort of know how to approach, like people know how to approach first impressions, right? Like people literally go out of their way sometimes to put on their best face when they know it's a first meeting or a first impression, right? So it's like you can meet somebody for the first time and you can be like, damn, they're a cool person. They like super cool. I rock with this person. Like I could see myself, you know, rocking with this person, vibing with this person, whatever, right? But then like the more you keep meeting this person, or the more you get to know this person, the more they reveal it themselves, right? And so that's why I said first impressions are something, but not everything, right? Because you can meet somebody, y'all can hit it off, y'all can have a great time, it could be great. But then like that second time you can be like, it wasn't really, the vibes wasn't really hitting. Maybe it was just like, you know, second time jitters, or I'm still getting to know this person, whatever. But third time, fourth time, fifth time, and you kind of just like, it's just like a slow like a slow decrease of like, damn, do I even know who this person actually is? Until you like, wait, I don't actually know who this person is. This person literally just, you know what I'm saying, they knew it was the first impression, so they put on like their best face, you know what I'm saying? And this goes for so many different things, right? It doesn't just go for people, right? It doesn't, like, it's people, it's activities. Like let me tell you an example about that, right? So how you're introduced to something is like that has a big factor on whether or not you do that thing or not, or you do that thing well, or you enjoy doing that thing. So like this is what I mean by that, right? Last year I had I took a sewing class. I signed up for a couple, and they were like a month each, and they were like each basically series was gonna basically get you better at sewing as you go along, you know, like beginning, intermediate, advanced type of thing, right? And like I was super excited about it because, you know, anything regarding like making clothes, designing, art, creating, like that is fun to me. Like that's my fun, right? That gets me going. So I was super excited, and anything that gets me better, like, you know what I'm saying, like sharpening my skills, getting me better, like, or even just like me learning all around sense of creation and clothing making. So like I was like super excited for this, and it was fun, right? Like I went, my instructor was this nice woman, really friendly, really nice, really, like, you could tell she was like a teacher, right? Like she has done this before. She knows how to like help students at whatever level you're at. And it, you know, it was like I felt really good about it, right? And so I went for that first month, loved it, learned a lot, you know what I'm saying? Second month I go back and I'm like, where's Kathy? You know, shout out to Kathy though, but I'm like, where, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, where's Kathy? But we ended up getting a new instructor. It was this other guy. He was kind of like a younger guy, but like, you know, older than me, but like younger in a sense. And it was different. Let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't want this channel to even be about like negativity or bash of people or anything like that. But let's just say that it was like very different, right? Let's just say one person was like, you could tell they had been a teacher, and one person you could tell hadn't been a teacher and maybe hadn't had the level of experience or dealing with personalities and, you know, being a leader, you know? Because like I feel like if you put yourself at the front of those type of things, like teaching a course or something like that, like you would kind of want to have the qualities of a leader or a good teacher, you know? just for the betterment of the students. And I felt like, I don't know, like I just didn't feel good anymore, like in the classroom, like, cause like I gotta be honest with y'all, like, so I was the only male. Well, I was the only male. I was pretty much the only male there, right? In taking the class at this time. But yeah, it was them and the rest of my classmates, right? But like I started to kind of feel like I was getting singled out in a sense, right? Like I knew I was the only male, and I didn't have a problem with that. Like honestly, I prefer working like in those type of settings with women. Like just being honest, like nothing against my guys out there, but sometimes like working with men, like the objective gets lost because of like things like ego and all this kind of stuff, when it's just like, I'm just here to learn, I'm here to get better, like I'm not in a competition with you. And long story short, that's what it kind of felt like, right? Like I kind of felt like this guy was looking at me as like his competition, so he kind of didn't want to like really help me learn as much as I felt like he was helping everybody else, my other classmates. And it just gave me like a bad, like a not like a bad feeling inside. Like it didn't make me feel good, right? Because I'm like, I'm just here as like any other student, right? Like I'm still pretty like fairly new to this thing of like clothing, right? Like there's so many different avenues and layers and things to learn. So like I'm just doing my best to be a sponge, right? And I felt like this guy was like literally making it hard for me to come back to each class. Like because I felt like I was ignored. Like I wouldn't get called by my name. Like I would get called like guy, or you know, like little like weird stuff. And you know, like I did my best to kind of just like not take it personal and not like let it like affect me. But like when that goes into the whole point of this video, right? It's like, imagine your literal instructor, your teacher doesn't like, for some reason has it out for you or doesn't like you, and now that like affects your relationship with sewing, because you think like, oh, you don't like sewing anymore because your instructor was bad. And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, those things are important to note, right? I say all that to say, it's like, maybe you had gotten into something, maybe you had wanted to start something or try something, and the first time didn't go well, or the first time wasn't what you thought it was. Maybe it might be the environment, maybe it might be the teacher, maybe it might have been how you felt that day, right? So all of these things that I say, it's like your first impression does matter a lot, but it is not by far the end all be all, right? Because you really have to get to know something, right? There's no way you can fully know a person from one encounter. There's no way you can fully know a craft in one encounter, learn a skill in one sitting, right? Like first impressions are important, but they are nowhere near everything, right? So I kind of just want to be behind the campaign of pushing to like stop saying that, because be you. Don't try to be who you think the person will like in order to do business with you, in order to get along with you. Be you, right? Don't spend any more of your time trying to be the person that you think is agreeable, or the people pleaser, or people are gonna get along with. Be you, because 9 times out of 10 you're a good person. You're beautiful, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're cool just the way you are. Don't change yourself to try to fit into somebody else's box or mold of what they think you should be, or what you think they think you should be, or you know what I'm saying? Think about how even confusing that even sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going into so many different rabbit holes and all that. And think about it, because it's like, now imagine if you meet somebody, right, and you put on this mask, or you put on this face, right? Now you have to keep that up. Now you have to keep that up, or else you'll get judged for every single time after that you aren't that person anymore. So it's just easier to just go into it and be authentically who you already are, right? So I do my best to do that regardless, right? It doesn't matter if it's our first, second, third time meeting. I'm gonna try my best to be that same exact person, so that when you might hear me say something that you haven't heard me say before, you don't think like, oh, like, I don't know this person, but okay, he's just, you know, more of his personality is coming out, or that's something I could see why you felt like that, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing my best to like not have you guys just like left field saying anything out of left field that's just like crazy, or like you wouldn't expect to come from me. You know what I'm saying? hopefully you guys that have been following me along in my journey, you can kind of just like see my growth or kind of see my consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to come on here and be any other person for you guys other than myself, right? And just be more of myself for you guys. I know that I've been on this journey and I'm gonna keep going on this journey, but like I said, I felt like this was a great topic to bring up today, just because, like, you know, you'll really think you'll know a person, or you'll really think you know a thing, but you really don't until you do, right? It's kind of like, it's like that if you know kind of thing, right? It's like you don't know until you know, right? But I would always rather know than not know, right? Sometimes you gotta go on that second or third date to be like, okay, I don't really rock with this situation, or I don't think this will work out personally. Sometimes you gotta go on that second or third interview to be like, I don't think this is gonna work for me. I don't know if this is gonna work, right? So if anything, just keep in mind, keep with you that first impressions are important. There's something, but they are nowhere near everything. Being consistent, being who you are, being the same person with the ability and the option to grow, of course, but being that same person that you show up as every single day, being consistent, that is most important. That's what you should keep at front of mind. That's what you should take away from this video. Thank you so much. Definitely comment, like, subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Keep showing love however you show love. I'm always gonna appreciate it, and I'm gonna always be back here every Friday with a new episode. Peace out. Catch y'all next week.